in, folks. Dan French, Simply Vegas. You guys know the channel, Las Vegas Nexus Chronicles, right? We're going to start putting out many different things on videos and just updates and certain things that I want to put out related to Las Vegas. You guys know I'm a real estate agent out here with Simply Vegas, and I've been around for a long time. Does that necessarily mean you're an expert? No, but I feel like I've put my time in. So let's get right into this, guys. Man, it's been crazy. Football just started yesterday. Everybody out there is, putting down the Raiders out here. I'm not a Raiders fan, but I'm just saying. And so a lot of stuff going on. I think the weather's starting to change. I appreciate that, right? I mean, man, I can't go any more hot weather days anymore here, like in summertime here in Las Vegas. It's just, at some point, you got to tap out. And I was getting close to tapping out on the weather. It's just too much, man. Sometimes it just gets too much. Now, is it like that, obviously, throughout the year? No. But, man, with those 2-3 months, woo, it's pretty tough. Let's get right into it. I want to talk about the housing market. You guys know, again, Simply Vegas. I do a lot of video tours out there. So if you guys don't know me, check me out, man. Property Land, we got this one, Las Vegas Nexus Chronicles, which is also going to have some property tours out there that I'm going to go out, maybe do some history and some research on Las Vegas. You never know. I might be putting some stuff out that you guys might have interest in. Let's get over and talk about these interesting topics and articles that I was doing some research. And these articles remind me of, the dot-com boom, also on the housing correction that we had in 2008, how, when you look at it, people had strong consumer confidence. They wanted to buy a house out here in Las Vegas, especially in the 2000 to 2008 range. And, there's a reason why we had the crash or the correction, if you want to call it, but I call it a crash, where we almost, imploded. And I think a lot of people know why. So I'm not going to go and dive into that. But I do think that what people don't understand is supply and demand and consumer confidence drives markets. There's a third factor, though, and it's the cost of money. Is money cheap? Is it higher? Where's it at? Rates are starting to come down. So I think people are starting to see a little influx in purchasing. Now, I think Las Vegas is an outlier because supply and demand, yes, it's going to play a factor, but people still want to move here. You have the A's coming here, probably a basketball team. It's a growing city. Some people have speculation if they like that or not. I don't know. For me, I think it's good overall, but if you're not into a house, you better try to get into one soon. Let's go ahead and listen to what these two articles came out. This one's by News Nation. Then we're going to listen to what Grant Cardone had to say about selling your house. I'm going to give you my opinion. We're going to come back and talk about this. Let's listen to what they had to say here.
Okay, so we got some new information out today as to just how big the problem is. This is known as the Case-Shiller report. It essentially takes the 20 largest cities all across the country and sees what's going on with housing there. So remember, average at about 5.5%. Look out west to Vegas, higher than that, 8.5%. Nevada. Come on over to Detroit, Michigan, huge state, 7% there, price increase. Charlotte, North Carolina, 6.5%. Atlanta basically right there on the number. Phoenix only up 3.7%. So that's sort of what voters in those in those swing states, in the big cities there, are feeling with housing.
So you guys listen to what he had to say about that, right? So that's crazy. Big numbers, right? 8%. Las Vegas, where is it coming from? We all know, right? People are coming from other states that traditionally have higher markets, selling their homes, and then reestablishing or relocating to Las Vegas. Now, the separation from, say, California or East Coast is not as big as it was. And a lot of it is tax purposes, maybe starting off fresh, starting new. You do get a lot of new homes out here being built, where California has a lot of older homes that have been refurbished. So, out there you can get, a lot more money for your house, but they're a lot older, maybe outdated. And I think some people just want to move here and start over. That doesn't mean it's a better home out here because of the new homes. Some people have speculation that these new home builders aren't building like they used to. So, I agree with that, but I also want to say that, again, looking at Las Vegas, it's not going to change. So very interesting, though. We're the number one city for increased price year over year and increase in prices. When you look at what we're seeing right now, we're seeing less homes coming off the market. There's less homes that are like in the ultra luxury, but they're holding their value. You know, people can't really look at the fact that prices have gone down too much. And we were at an all-time high a couple years ago. 481,000, I believe, is what we hit here. So people out there looking to buy a house, you guys looking to move to Las Vegas, understand that prices have gone up. We're not in a multiple offer scenario, but when you see rates come down, people are going to start to get back in the market. That's what we're doing. So let's listen to what else Grant Cardone had to say about selling your house. Then I'm going to come back and tell you about that and give you my opinion on this.
We're selling a house, sell it now, as fast as you could sell it. This economy is not going to get better, it's going to get worse. You're not going to have lower unemployment than you have right now. The moment the robots start happening, they're going to happen. We've been talking about robots for 50 years. Now they're going to happen. We have cars that can actually drive themselves. This is going to happen. You got 78 million baby boomers that are going to get old and die. They're not going to buy another house. The people responsible for the housing industry are going to die in the next 30 years. They're going to be dumping houses. You're going to have 20 million homes on the market with nobody to buy those. Their kids are going to be like, sell it. If you died right now, what would they do with the house?
Yeah, sell it.
They'd sell it. Sure. And they wouldn't care what they got for it. They'd be like, sell it as fast as you can. I want my money. Expand that out 20 million times. You got a massive housing issue in America now, in reverse. Too many houses. Nobody wants it. Because the kids that are coming up today, they don't want to buy a house. They want mobility. They're smarter than their parents. I would sell the house. I'd go rent some other place, grab my dough. You're probably going to have no tax on the event, or minimal. And I'd take the money and I'd invest in something that pays you every month that you don't have to manage.
All right, so you heard what Grant Cardone had to say about this, and that's a lot, right? Man, it relates. I'm trying to think about when the last time I heard to sell your house, and a lot of people don't understand the value of a house as an asset. You know, people think it's not an asset. Well, again, you know, can you invest your money into other things like a business? Yes. Housing is a hopeful long-term position to gain equity or wealth. Why do I say that? It's because there's never been a point in time, maybe even a correction. I'm not going to say never a point, but corrections do happen. But overall, if you look at the housing market and shelter itself has never gone down overall on a long-term basis, meaning buying homes. You know, if it's interesting, if you bought a home in the 1920s in New York and sold it today, it would be worth probably over $1 million minimum. Depending on where its location is at, it could be $20-25 million. So I just think that people are going to still want to buy a house. I'm going to disagree with Grant because I think the reason is people can't afford a house. If I could afford a house, if I was a Gen Z or Gen Y and I was out there and I needed money to buy a house, you got grants, you got everything. I think the big problem is even if you get a grant, you get down payment assistance, or you get some type of assistance in general, maybe a gift fund or something from somebody out there that's a family member. Potentially, you still can't afford the mortgage payment with everything going on because you just don't make enough money. You know, that's the problem. You have an average influx of 7% on money circulation going in every single year. You know, if you were on the S&P 500 and you had 10% return with that inflation of money in circulation, really you got to minus that, right? Because it's decreasing the value of your money when you see that. So every year you're not getting as big a return. If you're looking at it from a middle class or smaller scale, most people can't afford food and all the things and have a mortgage payment at $3,000, $3,500 a month. That's living paycheck to paycheck. I think there's a big question. Do I want to put myself in that position? I think a lot of people do not want to put themselves in that position. And I think Grant Cardone's coming from an investor or investment standpoint and saying, start a business. Great. There ain't nothing wrong with that. But to say that baby boomers they're not going to buy, or after them, nobody's going to buy a house. I disagree with that because I think a lot of people still, that's the most, buying a home is the biggest investment a single middle-class person's going to make in their lifetime. And it's the best way or the only way. If you don't have a direction, you don't have money to invest into a business, you don't have the resources, then I think there's nothing more better than putting your house or your money into a house. And I think from Grant Cardone's perspective, you can't believe everything that guy says, because a lot of times he goes with things just to get clicks, right? And I disagree with him. I don't agree with what he said on that. And I think Shelter, will things change? Sure. I think things are going to change. Shoot, we're changing now. You know, buyer's broker agreement and sending that out, and how buyers are paid and buyer agents paid. And the industry as a whole, is it changing? Yeah, it's going to get better. It's going to get probably more efficient. Artificial intelligence is going to be a part of this. Ultimately, though, I think people are going to still want to buy it. I think they're going to use real estate agents for the most part to use and buy houses, because there's a lot of education behind it. That doesn't mean somebody can't come in and put in some type of AI to try to help the process. They got blockchain out there at some point, may help the process. But at the end of the day, people will still buy houses. Interesting fact, I want to show you guys something here really quick. So here's the numbers you see in Las Vegas right here. You know, if you look at this right here, you got an average median price of 464, and we're heading up. And so after all these things that we see, and all the people saying, well, you know, the market's stagnant, it is. It's not moving as it was, but it's still moving. You know, I have people out there that are looking to buy homes right now. I have listings. I have people that are back in the market because rates come down. It's all timing. Everybody's in a different place, but I'm still here. I'm Dan French with Simply Vegas. You guys let me know your thoughts. Do you guys think you should sell your home? Do you guys think that, you know, with this, the appreciation or increase in Las Vegas homes at 8%, do you think it's going to continue to go up? Are we headed for a correction? Let me know. Leave your comments. I'll see you guys at the next one, because I'm out of here.